This is macOS Ken.
Apple shares go sliding, new operating systems from Apple, and security fixes for old operating systems. It is Tuesday, the 17th of September, 2024. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by 1Password Extended Access Management, your solution for MDM and identity and access management. Learn more at onepassword.com/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Apple shares were down 2.78 percentage points yesterday, losing 618, closing at 216.32. Want to guess why? Though there could be many contributing factors, the primary driver rhymes with no. I refer to TF International analyst Ming-Chi Kuo and his post over the weekend that iPhone 16 Pro series demand was coming in lower than expected. That was based on this. The delivery times of the iPhone 16 Pro series are significantly shorter than those of the iPhone 15 Pro series. It's not me saying that seems the primary driver. It was a piece from MarketWatch. Quoting that, the stock was down 2.7 percentage points in morning action after Ming-Chi Kuo, a prominent Apple analyst, said that sales of iPhone 16 family were down an estimated 12.7% for the first weekend, compared with what was seen for the iPhone 15 series a year earlier. That piece had him citing the aforementioned delivery times. But here's the thing, we don't know why delivery times are shorter. I had argued yesterday that shifts in production could be responsible. If Apple's producing more consumer-end iPhone 16 units in India, capacity for the Pro end might be freed in China to better keep up with demand. Does that sound too Pollyanna? Well, then so does B of A analyst Wamsi Mohan. The MarketWatch piece had him indicating that Apple probably produced more iPhone 16 Pro models this year, which could help to explain why wait times aren't as extended as they were last year. Even in China, where competition against iPhone has gotten more competitive, the piece says Mohan specifically called out less extended shipment dates in China relative to other markets, but said that the dynamic could be due to better supply versus lower demand. Any difference at this stage could be due to factors such as supply, inventory, allocation, and pricing versus end demand, according to the B of A analyst. Mr. Mohan has a buy rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $256. Willing to join the TF International analyst on his walk of worry is Citi analyst Atif Malik. He seems to give credence to the slow rollout talk thanks to the staggered rollout of Apple Intelligence. Adding a worry of his own, he says investors are concerned that margins on the iPhone 16 line might go down, given no increase in average selling prices and differentiation between Pro and non-Pro models is not as big. Mr. Malik has a buy rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $255. All of the Apple operating systems got updated yesterday, and that, by the way, is where we are spending the rest of the day. Seems to have gone flawlessly for everyone. Personally, I've updated my iPhone 15 Pro Max, my 7th generation iPad, my Apple Watch Series 7, my original HomePod, and my HomePod Mini. Sadly, I've had no time to play with the new features yet, partly because I was writing this, and partly because I spoke to a Mac user group last night. Shout out to my friends new and old at the Silicon Valley Mac user group. Funny enough, we did not talk about the Mac. Anyway, lots of new operating systems out there. Let us hit some featured features. Mac Rumors was good enough to post all of Apple's release notes. Marquee features turning up in iOS and iPadOS 18 include being able to customize the home screen with a more flexible arrangement of apps and widgets, as well as giving your device a darker aesthetic with dark icons. I did have a funny time with that one. I tend to keep the brightness on my iPad low and run it in dark mode. So after the update, couldn't see a damn thing on the screen. Had to hunt around for the brightness control. Don't worry, I muddled through. The Photos app got a redesign. It's said to have new customization and grouping options, as well as the ability in certain views to surface the kind of images you're looking for, rather than the ad hoc note-taking for which we tend to use our camera rolls. Messages got the via satellite thing. There are also formatting and animation effects for text. You can also schedule messages and use emojis or stickers as tapbacks. Control Center gets redesigned groups of controls. You can also rearrange their placement because customization is the thing in iOS 18. At least until Apple Intelligence gets here. Speaking of customization, there are custom lock screen controls that let you add controls for your favorite apps. You can also choose from 12 different number scripts for time on the lock screen. Safari gets a distraction control, helping users hide items on web pages that get in the way of the web page. Really looking forward to trying that. The Passwords app is live and installed automatically, though you can remove it if you want to. Maps adds topographic maps, hiking routes, and customizable walking and hiking routes because customization. Tap to Cache comes to the Wallet app. There are changes for gaming, the Journal app, though still no iPad version of that. Improved search functions in phone for people who still use their iPhone as a phone. Privacy improvements, Apple TV app improvements, and as the country song says, the list goes on and 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 on. Worth pointing out, Apple's long-promised RCS messaging support has arrived in iOS 18, though you may not have it. Apple's notes say the support includes delivery and read receipts, as well as higher-resolution photos and videos for messaging people without an iPhone. It also requires carrier support, and therein lies the rub. Here in the States, a piece from Ars Technica says it is only the big three carriers, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, that offer that support currently. If you want to check whether it's available to you and enable or disable it, a piece from 9to5Mac says you can do so by going to Settings, then Apps, then Messages. If you don't see this option, the piece says your carrier probably doesn't support RCS on iPhone yet. Not so much in iOS 18, but running in tandem, a standalone piece from Mac Rumors says Apple's ubiquitous OS now offers financing through Affirm. This takes the place of Apple Pay Later, which the company killed back in June. Alongside Monday's OS release, the piece says Affirm has officially announced its financing partnership with Apple and shared more details. Starting Monday, qualifying Apple Pay users in the U.S. can use Affirm to split eligible purchases into biweekly or monthly payments for as low as 0% APR, according to the press release. Info on that option turns up under Other Cards and Pay Later options when checking out with Apple Pay, according to the report. Moving to the Mac, key features for macOS 15 Sequoia include iPhone mirroring, provided you're using an Apple Silicon-powered Mac, easier window tiling, distraction control for Safari, integration of the Passwords app, cool video conferencing features provided you're using an Apple Silicon-powered Mac, improvements to messages, improvements to maps, notes, photos, and as the annoying local media ads say, more. Onward to watchOS 11, which brings such improvements as improved fitness tracking, the ability to customize activity rings goals based on the day of the week, the ability to pause your activity rings for a rest day, week, month, or more without affecting your award streak. Where was that the time I had COVID? improvements to the Smart Stack, improvements to watch face customization. There's a translate functionality letting users dictate phrases and have them automatically translated and played out loud with support for 20 languages, according to Apple. I will say that does work pretty well on my Apple Watch Series 7. You can track the tides for over 100,000 beaches worldwide and a whole lot more. Like sleep apnea notifications. They are no longer a planned thing, they are a thing. TechCrunch ran a piece Monday saying that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration Monday published approval for sleep apnea detection on Apple Watch Series 9, the upcoming Apple Watch Series 10, and Apple Watch Ultra 2. That let Apple say in its notes that the functionality is live. The sleep apnea notifications are for users 18 years of age or older without a previous diagnosis, according to the company. Great as the news is about the sleep apnea notifications, things for hearing health are going a bit more slowly. Though the FDA approved Apple's announced plans to turn the combo of iOS 18 and AirPods Pro 2 into a hearing health test and a pair of hearing aids if needed, that's not ready. A piece from Mac Rumors says Apple is planning to release the suite of hearing features as part of an update sometime this fall. We'll do more of Apple's Monday updates in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, 1Password Extended Access Management. Have you heard the term desire path? Sounds sexy. Really isn't, especially in an IT and security context. Desire path means a footpath made through foliage, grass, etc. by repeated traffic rather than laid out by design. The paths you and your technical people have laid out are there for the safety and security of your business. But there's a good chance your people are following a desire path, a quicker, easier way to get the work done that you want them to do. You gotta like that quick part, but probably not the part where they're using unmanaged devices, apps IT doesn't know they're using, and IDs that should have been deactivated a long time ago. 1Password Extended Access Management can help you get a handle on all of that. It puts all those unmanaged devices, unknown applications, and rogue identities under your control, making sure every user credential is strong and protected, every device is known and healthy, and every app is visible. 1Password Extended Access Management solves the problems traditional identity and access management and mobile device management miss. It is security for the way people actually work. It's available now to companies with Okta and Microsoft Entra, and in beta for Google Workspace customers. Check it out at onepassword.com/macOSKen. That is the number 1, onepassword.com/macOSKen. Pressing on with Monday's updates. tvOS 18 is out, serving Apple TV HD and Apple TV 4K models. The marquee feature for the set-side device is Insight, information about actors, characters, and music from Apple TV Plus movies and shows in real time. The feature offers additional information on the Apple TV Remote app on an associated iPhone. The OS has also improved the enhanced dialogue feature. Mac Rumors says that now works with HDMI connected speakers, AirPods, and other Bluetooth devices. Additionally, the piece says there's an option for live captions for FaceTime calls, and Apple added new screensaver options, including portraits, TV and movies, and Snoopy. In lockstep with the tvOS update, Apple has released an update for the various HomePods. While a piece from Mac Rumors says HomePod Software 18 supports spatial audio when AirPlaying to the device, Apple's release notes don't mention that. Anyway, they didn't on my original HomePod nor on my HomePod Mini. What they did say was software version 18 introduces SharePlay so you can share control of your Apple Music playlist on iPhone or iPad, and guests can contribute to what's playing on HomePod. This update also includes bug fixes and stability improvements. And last, for the new operating systems, Apple Vision Pro got its first big update on Monday. Upload VR lists a number of new features for Apple's headset, including new hand gestures, converting 2D images to spatial photos, cinematic mode for Safari, and WebXR on by default, support for mice versus trackpad only, improved guest mode, travel mode for trains, and a lot more to land on your head. I'll tell you, part of me felt foolish updating my iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, and HomePods almost as soon as I could. I can also tell you I had no issues with any of them. If you want to hold off though, or if you have to, there are still updates out there for you. iDownload blog says in addition to the new operating systems, Apple on Monday released iOS 17.7, iPadOS 17.7, macOS Sonoma 14.7, and macOS Ventura 13.7 with important security fixes. These all bring a number of security fixes for people who either don't want to move their operating systems ahead or cannot do so for whatever reason. While Apple's notes don't indicate that any of the vulnerabilities fixed are known to be under active exploit, there are lots of fixes. According to the report, there are over 36 fixes in the updates for the most recent Mac operating systems, and roughly half as many in the updates for iPhone and iPad. I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but if you're not getting the new operating systems, you should consider the security updates. macOS Can, brought to you by me, and sponsored by 1Password Extended Access Management. Learn more at onepassword.com/macOScan. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOScan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.